Harsh, for people who don't know about your background, right from teenage to starting
Yeah.
this company, like what would be your career highlights?
Career highlights would be somewhere between like the second year of college. So I was in DU, Delhi College of Arts and Commerce, and somewhere in the second year, I started working with a friend of mine, and then a month later, I started my own agency, and now we're a team of 10. So I think if I were to like point it down to one place, it would be second year of college when I was like 20 years old.
And what
Yeah.
was the most difficult decision you had to make?
I think it was just like deciding to not get a job and just like sticking with it when college ended. Even like during college, like the last year where I was not really going to college, I wasn't really studying, I was just like working on my business. I think that was like my hardest point because no one really thought it would make sense. Everyone was like, just wait a year or, something. Yeah. That would be like
Mm,
my turning point as well.
nice. In this past years of running agency, what would have been your lowest point?
I think lowest point would have been the beginning because that's when you're working the hardest for the lowest money. Like it wasn't really hard then, but now that I think of it, the amount of stuff I was doing for like $200 a month, I wouldn't even do for like $2,000 a month now. So it was a hard time, like even like managing three clients, like three full four clients, it wasn't enough to replace a job. So I think that would be the hardest time. And I think it was even harder for me because like the time zone.
Mm,
So it was like, you earn so little for working all night, like working till 7 a.m. at times.
damn.
Yeah.
But so that hustle of getting few clients to get the
Yeah.
momentum.
Yeah.
And if you can take us back to that days of like your first month, your
Yeah.
first 3 months of the agency, like how was your lifestyle like? Like what you were doing?
Okay, so I was in DU, and I know it's different now, but at the time, I mean, like 4 years ago when I started DU, it was like, you don't really have attendance. Like you just have to go give exams. There was nothing like you don't have to go and go attend classes. Yeah, so I stopped going. I live like an hour away from Delhi, anyways. I live in Gurgaon, so I was really free. I was just like you know going out all the time, going to the gym, not literally doing anything productive at all. I think this phase where I went from second year to third year, like the summer break in between. So everyone was doing internships, and I got an internship at Deloitte. Yeah. So I think first week into Deloitte, I was like, this wasn't for me. I used to like tell them I'm going for a lunch break, and I would like run home, like literally run home. So I forced myself to stay there for 2 months, and then after 2 months, I had a friend who was running an agency, and he was doing pretty well. Like he, at the age of like 19, he had like his own house, his car, and everything. So I reached out to him. So I was like, dude, just give me any job. Like just give me anything like so I can like so I don't have to, like apply to these places again after a year. So he told me that he's been looking into this business model called emailing. Reach one. And if I'm like if I want, then I can just like come and work for a month, like intern for a month, and I can like read about it. And so this is a little over 2 years ago. So like cold email back then was a lot easier. First month we booked. It was a new business. We booked 16 meetings. It was nothing like it was like he hadn't seen like meetings like that before. By the second month, I had two other of his agency friends started working with me, but it was like very low ticket. I'd say like $200 a month, even less than that point. Like I swear I had like $100 a month client as well. But so yeah, so at that time when like summer break ended, I stopped going to college. I used to work very little. I'd say like 3 hours a day, and I was making $500 a month from this. But I used to spend like a lot of time learning because I think the 1 month where like within a month when I got 16 meetings, I thought if that's what 1 month can do, I decided to like just keep learning, like seeing content. I was very active on Twitter, you like watching every single video about GTM, some automations on YouTube. Yeah, but I didn't really like go out of my way to get clients, but I was like always just like focusing on the craft for like the next at least 6, 7 months. And then I think when I had like 3, 4 months of college left when people started applying for jobs, I think that was actually like the point. Okay, I was like, I want to do this. I enjoy this, and I think I should go all in. Like, I should start like doing outreach for myself, trying to post content, join communities, invest. But yeah, my schedule was very simple. I would just work 3 hours a day anytime. I would go spend like 2 hours at the gym and nothing much. Like I didn't really still have anything to do because I just didn't go to college. Oh yeah,
And
that's it. Yeah.
was like any peer who was also doing in something in the agency space, like inspired you or like right? It
Yeah.
feels like you were learning a lot from online, but like you also need to see like okay, what's the path, role model or something. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the thing with online, right? You see all of these guys who are like making money young, and you're like, is this even true? Because you hear like a group of like another group saying, oh, this is bullshit, this is info and whatever. But I'd seen someone like do it in front of me, and he was doing pretty well. Like we're talking like he was driving a BMW at the age of 20 and bought himself. So I was like, okay, that's amazing, right? And also like he guided me through like a lot of things like in the beginning, which I didn't find online, like setting up a payment processor, for example, for myself, and even like how lifestyle goes and how to hire a lot of these things. I think that really inspired and helped me like in the initial months.
But it sounds like this is an outlier case, which you might like. Are there, or maybe
Yeah,
are there people like that guy in Gurgaon or Delhi? Is there a group or
I believe there are, but I'm not really connected to any. Like I think I have really haven't connected to any. But this guy was from my school, and he was my neighbor as well, so that's how I met him.
if you know like any stats like how like what is the offer, what ticket size and something, so it just gives an audience a context like okay, a 20-year-old making this much with this offer is possible from India.
So I'm 22 years old now. We're doing somewhere around I think a little over 30K a month right now. USD. Yeah, so my offer is I help B2B businesses with their GTM strategies and RevOps. So we're going into that business, we're setting their outbound motion, sending a shit ton of emails using Clay and booking them meetings where they're ready to pay us for like even as much as like $500 per meeting booked. And then we also help them with like a lot of automations as well, like setting up anything that I think lead gen requires a lot of automation, like follow-ups and everything. So we've got a team of 3 devs as well. So yeah, that's what we do. And 30K a month. I hope to ideally hit at least 50K by the end of the year. So I don't think it's like very hard.
Let's go. For this client acquisitions, it feels like for GTM, you are using your own secret sauce to get your clients because it's
Yeah.
the same outreach and you
Yeah.
get meetings.
Yeah, but I also love like the inbounds and referrals. I think one of the biggest issues I faced as like a young entrepreneur was I had no idea how to close. I'd never gone into meetings with business owners who are making like a lot of money. And I mean, if you want to sell a $3,000 a month, $4,000 a month service to someone, you need to like hit people who are making like I think $100,000 a month revenue is like a sweet spot for you there. Uh, with cold email and like getting into the business world, you're directly in contact with these founders. I really didn't have experience there. So at the beginning, I could never close any cold leads myself. Like I would get them on meetings, but I could never close them because like they are cold leads, right? Like you have to sell them on your service and you have to like generate the demand for your service. But I still I do get like a lot of my revenue from like clients that I close from cold email. But I still love referrals and inbounds because those people actually come to you with the demand. They know the pricing, because they've heard about you or they know, okay, this like that's pricing. So it's like a lot easier to close. The calls are a lot more chiller. For I think closing cold, you can't just be like starting out. You have to have like a sales process and system, and you need to like know how to close.
Got it.
Yeah,
So 3 months before your graduation, you thought, okay, let's go full time.
yeah,
And you were doing initially low ticket thing. But
yeah.
what was the time where it picked up? What happened?
So it's very weird. So I think I had like a mid-tier client from Canada come in from a referral from one of my $200 clients, in fact. That's where I got a little money that I was ready to invest back because I couldn't really like invest pretty much anything from the $500 a month I made. And that's also around the time when I started going all in. So I had like Twitters, I would like speak to other agencies, I would post on LinkedIn, I would join like all these Slack channels. Then I found a client on a Slack channel actually. So it was like an Amazon marketing agency, and someone had posted about asking about how to scrape Amazon leads, and I just like wrote my method, and that person booked a meeting with me the next day. A week later, we closed him for 2,000 or 1,500, $2,000 a month, and that's where I was like, okay, now this is the new standard, and then I could also
You
invest
got
on like
validation.
yeah, and also get like invest in a better website, a better system, like all of these things. Like it just helps you charge better. Like at the end of the day, people call all these things shiny object syndrome, but like they do help you charge more if you can like invest in all of this, like a setup, for example, like this mic, this chair, all of these things.
Uh, and this was which year and month? Like this 1500, which was like the first big sale.
A little over a year ago, I'd say.
Okay, so you grew from like 200, $500 a month to 30K a month within this last year.
In 2 years, yeah.
Okay. Oh, this was a year ago. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
So
I
like
see.
like the last
Yeah.
4 months have been amazing for us. Like actually last 6 months. I think 6 months ago we were at like 4K still.
That's, I think, like, can you deep dive a bit on that? Because sometimes I feel this MRR is an exponential growth. Like you can
Yeah.
stay stuck between 10K and then like in 6 months, like, okay, we are at
Oh yeah.
90K.
Percent. So basically 4K a month, like your first $1,000 a month is the hardest to make. Like literally the hardest. You don't know anything. First 4,000 to 10,000 is actually the hardest to make as well. Like first 4 to 10,000, it gets easier after that because so when I had 4,000, that's when I actually got money to invest into my own lead gen, to invest in hiring people and invest in like coaching programs as well. Once I hit, in the next like 2 months into the coaching program, I was at 12K because I went through all of the recordings and I was like, okay, I know everything now. And then I was just like upselling stuff, trying new methods. I was creating lead magnets. Um, right between 12 to 24K was again like 2 months. And in those 2 months is where I hired people as smart as me. And then it was like, like honestly, I feel like 4, 12K to 30K was not even half as hard as like the first 10K.
And like when you say the coaching program, like, are you talking about client accession?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Yeah, we both are in the same program. If you can pinpoint, like for 4K to 12K in 2 months, was there any particular module which, like, okay, I gotta make a big change? Was it like VSL, offer, sales
Uh,
objection script?
I'll be honest, when I was at 4K, I didn't even know what I was doing. Like, I didn't have a pricing, I didn't have anything. Again, the onboarding process, I had my student success coach, Andy, amazing guy. Like, he's helped me so much. And then he actually like went and broke down everything about my business and wrote down 10 things I need to do. And then like first thing that I watched was obviously offers because I feel like at 4K I didn't even have an offer. It was just like, okay, I do this and then we can like talk about whatever you want. I'll just do it for like close enough. One thing that really helped was um so client extension is great for like cold email agencies because you've got so many coaches who are great at that. So that was there. On top of that, he literally changed my pricing, started and I think the thing that helped me the most was actually the closing
Mm.
modules. Because before that, I just went on a call and I just like stare at the other person's face and like, hi, okay, this is what I do. But I think like the closing process like really made a difference because so I think like closing is so important. Like you could have the worst service in the world and you can close it for like $5,000 a month if you're a good closer, and you can have the best service and you can't close for like 1,000. So I was like, so one of the coaches there had a partner who went on like a closing partner who went on a sales call for a $2,500 service and got rejected. And this coach went on a call with the same person again the next time, closed the same deal for $5,000. Like that's how big of a difference it makes with closing. So I think like just learning how to like speak better, have an actual order and like an offer in place, like having some systems to show on call, that really helped. And obviously like I do lead generation, so I always knew like how to get people on a call. I just had to like take the funnel from there.
God, 4K to 12K was like big difference in the closing, and 12 to
Yeah.
14. You hired a person at 24, right?
Oh no, I kept hiring like throughout this time. I loved hiring. Like, I have a team of 10. My partner included, by the way. I have a partner who's my brother as well. So we've got uh two of us and 8 team members. So we've got a team of 10.
Talk about your operations and hiring. Like, what's your process? How do you find good players that
Um,
align with your culture?
so we've actually once when I started, I used to look for people in my network. So like my first hire was a friend's cousin. My second hire was a friend's college mate, like for example. I don't even remember. My third hire was from LinkedIn without a system, and that was like the worst money I've spent in my life. Yeah, I think if you like don't have a system in place and you don't know how to like hire and you go onto LinkedIn and like run ads, you'll find people who are used to like working in a way that they get fired and they're used to like applying to hundreds of jobs on LinkedIn every single day. So yeah, that was terrible. And then I took what Client Ascension gave us for hiring, and then I had a dev who basically created a system for us, which would like rank candidates, and then I would like personally interview them. Like I still personally interview every single person I hire, and like, it's still pretty manual. Like I don't want to hire and then fire, so I'm pretty sure that I might hire like like people who I can talk to for like an hour first, and then see, okay, like is this going to be a fit? I see their resume, and then we also have like a notice, like like a first month where like a probation period where we like we're straight up like you haven't gotten the job. Like we're just gonna look at you for a month. We're gonna pay you, but like after a month is when you'll be like actually told if you've got the job or not.
So Harsh, can you share in terms of mindset and belief, what's the major difference between your current version and your old version?
I think like the biggest mindset difference is I used to think you get richer by saving money in business, and now I've realized it's actually investing money in business. If I were to start again now, I'd probably reach out to every single person I know is killing it and is like really killing it, like not the scammers, but and just like offer them all the money I have to like just consult me for an hour and like join these good coaching programs, buy back months. If I could afford client ascension when I begun, I'd probably be where I am right now 5.5 years ago.
Think like
Yeah.
I also feel like our culture, we are like very, it's sometimes too difficult to have like balls to go big and
Yeah.
invest big. Like it's, we
No,
don't
I
see
mean,
that kind of risk. Yeah.
yeah, but like at one point, I think like I've seen from like Indian entrepreneurs, I've seen a couple of them as well. Like I mentioned, like $1,000 invested could sometimes return you like trying to save. For example, if I have to invest 400,000, probably could like the 400 probably would return me nothing, and 1,000 could return me like 5 times. So trying to save that 600 could probably just like come bite me. Yeah. Yeah. So I think like that's one thing I had to learn really, but that's what like really helped me because right now I think like apart from like the salaries and expenses every month we still invest like 7 8K a month where we don't have to. We could just like take it away as profit. Yeah.
Are there any areas which like, okay, client ascension is one, like what's bigger coaching program for you? Like what are you looking at?
I think next is going to be 1:1. Like
Mm.
right now, modules is there, but I think I need people to like manually review my stuff. So right now I'm looking for a sales coach will basically get on calls with me, go through my sales calls and tell me, okay, you're fucking terrible here, for example. So I think that's the next step, like just finding out people who are doing very well in their niche and just like ask them for like a one-on-one consultation, offer them like even like $500 an hour is worth it.
Can you share few names in the agency world who are like you look as role model outside India, and also some names in India if you have any?
I don't really know a lot in India, but outside, if I were to name one, I obviously really look up to the client ascension guys. So like Daniel Fazio and like Christian, Andre, Dan. Then I've got like a few friends of mine in the Legion space as well. Like I have a few friends, Nick and Troy from BuzzLead, and then in the cold email space, another person I really look up to is Nick Abraham. Yeah, like I don't really have anyone specific like that. And I have like one person who's one of my clients, like the first client, Hunter.
Let's write a playbook for someone who is starting the agency to grow from your lessons learned, systems, coaches, step by step. What should they do?
I can tell you for a GTM agency, if I were to start again, how I would start now. So the first thing is very different from when I started. You can't start with $200 clients anymore because it's like a lot more expensive now because of the competition, the new tools in the market. Play alone right now is $1,000 for us, and it's just like one of our tools. The first thing I do is I spend 2 months, like just 2 months learning Clay. And why I say this is because like 2 months ago, I had someone for a very good package who offered to work for free for me on Twitter. So I will learn Clay for 2 months and then I will reach out to any agency for a job. Get the job. I'm sure if you email, like message and email 100 agencies to work for free, one of them will hire you, and after 1 month, they will pay you or they'll find like someone else will pay you. So GTM right now is a space where um I don't think the demand can meet the supply of like GTM engineers. After you spend like a couple months there, I would recommend going freelancing to begin with, and that's how most agencies start, and pick up projects that you get on the Clay Slack. Like Clay full-time job ops, that channel has a shit like a ton of new job postings or like, freelancing projects or all of that stuff every single day. And then eventually you move on to your own agency. When you get there by this method, and after freelancing, you have systems to like, to like invest. The first thing I do is join any coaching program. I went for client ascension and I can recommend that. And from there, I think those guys will teach you how to go ahead about it. But I think like one of the best methods that I do if I were to reach out again is something I learned in client ascension, that's Dream 100. Just
Mm.
like creating a custom document you actually spend hours on and reach like sending it to people who you would like to work with. And the thing is like don't try to like AI your way out of it or anything and actually spend 4 hours because that person isn't sitting there if you could not tell the difference between AI and actual hard work. But yeah, like just like there's no excuses, like there's no possible excuse. Everything's on YouTube. Like yeah, like there's literally no excuse that you could give yourself for not starting.
Got it. So 2 months self-learning, 3 months learning under agency, then work on the side as a freelancer, and then maybe 9 months to 12 months in, like go full on.
Yeah, because I think like the thing is like you want to get into high buyer businesses. Like you don't want to like get into something where you can like start tomorrow. Anyone can start tomorrow. So that's why you want to like learn hard working for free and then work for an agency like they'll pay you with because that every good agency is spending like $10,000 a month on like up to $10,000 a month on like tech stack. Like like the good ones. So you don't get access to that tech stack. Start learning these expensive tools like these high, you know, high like high demand, expensive tools. And then, yeah, and then when you have that expertise, I don't think like, especially in my space, GTM, I don't think you have any issue like even like hitting 10K a month.
Yeah, because there are few sectors which are a bit saturated, like short form content or like
Yeah.
marketing and even cold emailing to a point now is getting like, okay, so many players in the market.
Yeah, but depends. I don't think like saturation is a thing if you have a system in place. Sure, like paid ads, I would say like very saturated. Content is very saturated, and that's not something you want to get into. But like GTM, I know RevOps, automations is still not very saturated if you have good systems in place and you can build a personal brand. And nothing is saturated if you have a good personal brand at the end of the day. I think that's something I would like recommend people building as well.
Interesting. And I saw your website. It definitely gives like a enterprise look. So we can share like how much did you spend on building this website?
Actually, I was like lucky enough for like a friend to give me the design. I got it developed for like $300.
No way. This is so clean.
It's actually not how it literally looks like. I think your laptop is
Okay,
small,
so
so it's getting cut.
okay.
Do you have like what's the size of your? Are you like opening it half a screen or something?
Yes, let me just I have a bigger
In fact,
screen.
it's going over in 2 weeks. We're launching. Yeah, this is the one. We're launching like our new website in 2 weeks.
So if I were to ask like for the new inbound calls, what would be the percentage from referral, from cold email, from like if you can share?
I think like 70% would be cold email, and I think like 15 would be referrals and like inbounds, like general inbounds.
And a lot of uh people sometimes say cold emails don't work. They are not getting good replies. Like what's a metric to achieve? And if it's not working, how should they work on it?
First of all, cold email works very well. Like I can like prove it to you. Just not sending good emails. Metrics wise, I think like a 2% reply rate is good, and like a 10% positive reply rate is like where you're actually like doing well. So if you're sending 30,000 emails a month, 2% is 200, like 60 replies, and then you have like 10%, six positive replies. So yeah, I mean, it's not. Let me just like do a quick math on like how the numbers make sense. So I think you should be sending 30,000 emails a day at least. Like I recommend like 90,000, but 30,000. Let's say if like 10%, that's 1%, like 2% replies, that's 600. And if even 10% of them are positive, that's 60 leads a month. So you really just need like 60 leads. You just really just need like 10% of a close rate to get 60 clients a month. And people are doing it just by the way. Like I just got a message for a client closing a 13,000 deal right now from cold email. So on this call, like
Whoa.
while we were disconnected right now. Yeah.
Damn. So like 30,000 emails a day. And so we are
A month.
getting at least a
I mean, if
month.
you can do a day, amazing. That's like taking 60 calls a month. That's where you need like sales reps and you're closing like 100,000 a month in revenue in like profit.
So the biggest investment for that would be like just buying domains and like warming it up. Like that's the dead cost.
No, so I recommend doing cold email. So here's the thing with cold email. If you try to like do it in $500 a month, you'll waste the $500 a month. But if you try to do it for $1,000 a month, you'll make a lot more. So I recommend getting a Clay account. I recommend learning about it. Like hire someone for a consultation, hire an agency like myself, or just like yeah, but like send a good volume, get good inboxes, like go to these resellers, get domains from Pokebun. Pokebun has like a .co sale every month. So you get like a domain for like $2. And get these resale inboxes that are like a famous one, like cold cheap inboxes, premium inboxes, scaled mail, mailer, all these guys. Then use Clay to pull as much intent and relevant leads as you can and write copies that really resonate. But if you try to like cheap out like say $400, $500 a month, you'll lose all the 500. But if you spend another 500, you'll make a lot of money. Yeah, but that's why like I think like $1,000 tech stack is like where cold email is working beautifully.
God, you mentioned all the best tools.
Some of them, yeah, there are a lot more.
Let's do a rapid fire, and
Okay.
you'll have uh 10 seconds to answer it, and you gotta keep it super brief. Your favorite restaurant?
I've been like loving this place called Yumi nowadays for sushi a lot.
A place in your travel bucket list?
I think like the whole of Eastern Europe really haven't been there much. I'm going to Georgia next month though, so like somewhere. That's a start.
I see. Best piece of advice you've received?
There's so much I can't even think about right now, but something probably from Daniel Fazio. Like he keeps it very. He doesn't like sugarcoat it at all.
You might have covered this briefly. Anything you wish you would have done differently?
Yeah, I wish I would have just not been very cheap at the start. Yeah.
What like for a 18-year-old listening to this, what would you give your advice?
Start learning a skill. Like just start learning a skill. Try to start a business. If you do well, amazing. You'll get your dream life. You can work from anywhere. You can make money. If you don't, you'll do better than like any college can give you, and like you'll learn. You'll just like end up learning. What you lose there?
I see.
Yeah.
Any book or podcast you wanna give a shout out?
Yeah, a couple of them books really. So I think all of Alex Hormozi's books. Then you've got um 48 Laws of Power. You got How to Make Friends and Influence People and Atomic Habits. I think these are like a few of the ones that I read and that really helped me.
Nice. One thing which most of the people don't know about you and would be surprised to know.
There's not much to it. I don't think like a lot of people like in my circle know that I like run a business that's doing decently well. I'd say like none of them know it. Like I think I'm sure like some people think I just like sell drugs online or something. In fact, I don't think like half of the people I know know what like cold emailing is as a business is.
So anyone in India you look up to in the agency space?
In the agency space, not don't really know anyone in the agency space, but I've seen this guy who I I really agree with what he says. Subha, I think his name is. I've seen some of his reels. I don't really like follow him like that, but like I've never seen him like bullshit or give advice that would just sell, but like stuff that actually makes sense. And I've like tested them, and I know it's like true.
One GTM influencer you're gonna give shout out to?
A couple of them, a lot of my friends. I'd say Nick, Troy, Mitchell. Then we've got, I think obviously you have Eric, yeah, Nowalowski, and then yeah, so these guys, I think even like Aaron from Growth he's in Guide Extension as well. I've seen some of his stuff. It's amazing.
Got three words your brother would describe you as?
Serious, smart, and better looking.
I see. Okay, Harsh, this has been like lots of insights and it's very inspiring. Like you're 22-year-old making like 30K agency and onwards 60K.
Yeah. Hopefully, touch wood.
Touch wood. I wish
Yeah.
you all luck. Anything you wanna say on a closing note for this interview?
I think I've said everything though. I'm not a man of many words.
Okay.